to revert Rodborough to the pre-1936 boundaries. In 1936, when Stroud Urban area was involved, Rodborough was basically cut in half, so that one side of the road was in the rural area of Rodborough, and the other side of the road was in the urban area. And there was a feeling then of the community. We wanted to be one community, in conjunction with the parish council. We organised a campaign, and in the local government reorganisation, Rodborough has reverted to the pre-1936 boundary, so we have one united parish of Rodborough.
That's a brilliant tale to hear, and Bob, I've been quite moved by becoming even more aware of how much you've done for the local community. And I just ask you this question as to, I'm not quite sure how much faith has driven you in motivation, Christian faith at all.
Well, we are all placed on this earth for a reason. I'm very fortunate that I've had the support of my son and my daughter, and of course my late wife. Now, my late wife was a Catholic on Church of England, but we never found there was any difficulty between either. I mean, I was a school governor at Rosary School down in Stroud, and my wife ran the Brownies for Rodborough Church for some 17 years, so there was a complete crossover. But let's be fair, we're all, as I say, put on this planet. We have a purpose, and we should do what we can for one another, and it stems from that, really. Too many people today say, oh, I can't do this, I haven't got time to do that, but people have always got time. It's just whether they want to basically make the time. It's often said that those that have got least time do most, so I think that's a very apt saying.
I'm always touched when I walk past your house to see the little placard you have, and details about parish services and other things. And I'd like to say, I just love seeing that connection between somebody's front garden and the outside community. Well,
we are from the parish church trying to develop this a little bit further, so that all the parishioners, when there is a function, because Rodborough Parish is one of the biggest parish council areas, bearing in mind it goes from virtually Brimscombe to Woodchester, and down to the Stroud town boundary. It's one of the largest areas, and organisations need to sort of publicise their events, and if it's a concert and somebody comes into the church for a concert, that might be the first and only time they've ever crossed the church porch, for want of a better word, and we have to move to that sort of thing, to encourage young people, not only to the church just on religious ground, but to make more recognition of their part that they can play within the community.
I never thought about that. So, in ecclesiastical sense, Rodborough Parish, from the church point of view, is a really big parish. Then I've never actually thought about that.
Yes, Rodborough Parish and the parish council, Rodborough Parish Council area, is one of the biggest within the district.
Okay. Bob, I've really enjoyed the chat. I know you're a busy man. I wonder if there's anything else you'd like to say as you look back and indeed forwards.
I don't think so. I think I'd just like to see the community get closer and closer together, and this is how Rodborough will develop, for people to say, hey, this is the place we'd like to live.
Right, one final question, and that is, how do you think it's changed in your time here? Such a big question.
Well, Rodborough has changed. People who've lived here, I suppose, the Second World War, let's put it like that, have seen development within the area. But having said that, I think people do pull together as a community when asked. I mean, there's so many things going on, from scouts and guides. Not many people realise that the Stroud Sea Cadets headquarters are in Rodborough Parish. Peggy Ledlow, the vicar of Rodborough Parish, is also their church chaplain. So we're high on a hill, and yet basically we've got a Sea Cadet. So there are anomalies in this. I mean, I remember being in the Sea Cadets when it was at where Travis Perkins are now, and we're obviously Butts the Builders before that, and we've got a close connection with the Sea Cadets because the late Chris Payne, who many people know Alan Payne from the Stroud Building Society. Well, his brother Chris Payne was in fact the commanding officer of the Stroud Sea Cadets at the time. That was in the 50s, and for people, youngsters today, to join something like the Sea Cadets and the Scouts, marvellous opportunity. They can get out. There are things for young people to do. I mean, this is the one thing you hear time and time again. Young people say, hey, there's nothing to do. There are lots of things for people to do. What a lot don't want to do is to have something actually laid straight out in front of them. With a lot of the youth organisations now, they do give them a chance to go out on their own little tangent within certain confines, but it'd be good for the future to see a greater development of youth within the area.
Bob, you just talked about change there, and now just to finish, I'd like to thank you, because it's quite obvious to me that many of the continuities that exist in Rodborough are very much down to your efforts and energies in the past, and indeed in the present, and indeed it will be in the future too.
Well, I've been, as I say, involved through district council, parish councils, and as a resident for some 30 odd years now, and I would, I think we all have our little part to play. Some play more parts than others, some have it inbred in them, but as I say, I've had a lovely family, terrific support from my late wife and children, and this goes a long way towards being able to do something for others, even if it's just telling somebody there's a street light out, hey, you've done it, you've saved somebody else a problem. But other people do lots of other little things that aren't noticed, but they are part and parcel of the working of the community.
Thank you, Mr. Tiley, and I finished there by pronouncing your name correctly. Thank you.
Okay.
Brilliant.
All right.